What if nature could extract gold without machines, chemicals, or modern tools? Deep beneath the Earth's surface, powerful natural forces have been concentrating gold for millions of years. Long before humans learned to mine, nature was already creating rich gold deposits hidden within ordinary rock. The clues are all around us, yet most people never recognize them. From ancient geological processes to hidden signs in the landscape, the story of gold is far more fascinating than most imagine. Today, we're uncovering how nature itself can separate, concentrate, and reveal real gold in some of the most unexpected places. Gold has always been seen as the ultimate symbol of wealth, power, and endurance. For centuries, men have gone to impossible lengths to extract it, from diving deep into mountain tunnels, to washing entire rivers with heavy pans, to melting stone with complex chemicals. Yet what if I told you that long before modern tools, long before mercury, cyanide, and machines, nature itself had already written the script? Hidden in the folds of rock and soil, written by wind, water, heat, and pressure, lies a method, an ancient forgotten way to extract real gold without a single tool in hand. And if you listen closely to the earth, you can still use it today. The first clue comes from water. Flowing rivers, even without pans or sieves, act as natural refiners. For millions of years, water has been the tool that never sleeps. It moves relentlessly, carrying sand and stones and separating light from heavy. In the quiet bends of a stream, gold collects where water slows, settling beneath layers of sand. Without lifting a hand, you can already find gold simply by watching where nature drops it. It lies hidden beneath black sands, deep in the crevices of rocks, and even along the edges of gravel bars. This isn't chance. It's gravity at work, constantly sorting materials without any human tool. The secret is knowing where to look, and once you see the shimmer, you realize that nature has been panning gold for you all along. Yet water alone is only half the method. The other great tool is fire. Imagine lightning striking a dry hillside, a wildfire raging through forests, or even the heat of the sun baking the land until it cracks. Heat changes rock. It fractures veins, makes stone brittle, and opens pathways that once sealed gold inside. Over centuries, cycles of heat and cold, expansion and contraction, break apart host rock, freeing the gold little by little. When rain arrives, it washes those freed particles downhill, feeding streams, filling valleys, and leaving golden traces scattered in the soil. The mountain does the mining, the storm does the crushing, and the river completes the refining. All of it without human hands. If you've ever walked through an eroded canyon, you've seen the evidence. Boulders split open by heat, quartz veins exposed like scars on the surface, and patches of soil rich with minerals that look darker, heavier, almost magnetic. These are natural furnaces at work, creating channels through which gold escapes its prison. You don't need a pickaxe. You don't need explosives. The earth has already done the work, slowly, patiently, in ways more precise than any machine could replicate. But even more fascinating is how wind and time contribute. Dust storms sweep across dry lands, lifting lighter sands into the sky while leaving behind heavier particles that refuse to move. Among those survivors is gold. Over hundreds of years, winds strip landscapes bare, erasing the cover and leaving behind golden crumbs that gleam under the sun. In deserts where rivers no longer flow, wind becomes the new river, separating the worthless from the valuable. To the untrained eye, the ground may look barren, but those who know the secret understand. Where the soil is scoured and the lighter grains are gone, the stubborn glitter of gold often remains. Another part of nature's method lies in black sands, the quiet clue prospectors often overlook. Without a pan, you can still see them. Black sands are iron-rich, heavier than ordinary grains, and they act as natural companions to gold. Wherever these sands collect, there is a chance that tiny flecks of gold lie hidden among them. In fact, some of the world's richest deposits were first hinted at by nothing more than dark sandbars glistening in the sun. The trick requires no equipment, just eyes trained to recognize the subtle signs left by the earth. And once you spot them, you realize you've stepped into a natural concentration zone, a place where gravity, water, and density have already done the refining. Of course, the story doesn't end there. Imagine a hillside scarred by landslides. As rocks tumble, the lighter materials scatter far and wide, while heavier elements, like gold, remain lodged in cracks, trapped in soil pockets, or exposed in newly broken veins. The landslide itself becomes nature's mining event, revealing treasures that may have been hidden for thousands of years. When you walk across such terrain after heavy rain or shifting earth, you might see tiny flashes in the dirt, evidence of nature's own excavation. Without shovels, without drills, the mountain itself tears open and delivers the gold. Nature also uses freezing and thawing as silent tools. In colder regions, water seeps into cracks of quartz and other host rocks, freezes in winter and expands. That expansion pries the rock apart, fragment by fragment. With each cycle, the gold within is freed, ready to be carried away when spring melts arrive. Over centuries, this cycle repeats, breaking down entire veins and scattering golden fragments across valleys. It is a slow but unstoppable process, and the result is a natural distribution of gold that continues even now. To see it, you need only trace the trails of broken quartz scattered across hillsides, following them like breadcrumbs to where nature has already released her hidden wealth. But perhaps the most astonishing method of all is the role of soil and clay. Many think of gold as always being shiny and visible, but often it hides within fine clays that grip it tightly. Rainwater and erosion slowly wash away the clay, releasing gold into the open. In some cases, entire deposits of alluvial gold were uncovered not by miners, but by seasonal floods that stripped away layers of soil, leaving rich golden streaks behind. Farmers plowing fields, shepherds walking pastures, travelers crossing dry plains. Many stumbled upon gold simply because nature had exposed it beneath their feet. The earth itself had done the mining, waiting only for a watchful eye to claim it. To fully grasp the scale of this natural refining, think about how long it takes. Thousands of years of rain, fire, frost, wind, and erosion combined to do what a modern prospector might try to replicate in a single season. But the difference is clear. Nature wastes nothing. It sorts, concentrates, and delivers gold in ways that require no chemicals, no machines, and no tools. All it asks is that you pay attention. The bend of a river, the darkness of sand, the fracture of a hillside, the sparkle after rain. These are signs as old as time, hints left by the planet itself. The beauty of this forgotten method is that it shows us gold, not as something forced out of the earth by violence, but as something revealed by patience. The mountains collapse, the rivers carve, the winds strip, and the elements refine. And in the end, gold, the most stubborn, enduring of metals, remains. All you need to do is be there when the earth has finished her work. This is why even today, experienced prospectors will walk landscapes without carrying heavy tools. They read the language of the land. They see how quartz veins align, how black sands pool, how river bends create traps. They watch the color of soil change, notice where vegetation struggles to grow, and mark the scars of landslides. With no pan, no pickaxe, no sluice, they can still locate gold because they understand nature's process. The earth itself is the greatest prospector, and all we must do is follow its signs. When you step into the field with this knowledge, you are no longer blindly searching. You are walking in partnership with forces that have been at work for millennia. The mountain is your miner. The river is your refiner. The wind is your separator. The frost is your crusher. The soil is your filter. Together, they form the greatest gold extraction method ever known. One that requires nothing but awareness. So the next time you wander through a canyon, climb a hillside, or cross a dry desert plain, remember this. Gold doesn't always need to be extracted with tools. Sometimes the most powerful methods are those written by nature itself. And if you pay attention, if you look where the signs point, you may find yourself holding in your hand a piece of the Earth's most enduring treasure. Real gold, brought to you not by machines, but by the secret hand of nature. And as we close today's journey, remember that the Earth is always whispering her secrets to those who listen closely. Gold has never truly been hidden. It has only been waiting for the right eyes to see it. Here at EGS, we don't just chase treasure. We uncover the forgotten truths of how nature herself reveals it. If you felt the thrill of discovery in this story, imagine what's still waiting just beneath your feet. Stay curious, stay relentless, and let the land guide you to its hidden wealth. Before gold is ever seen, before a single flake flashes in sunlight, the Earth leaves a quieter signal. It does not glitter. It does not announce itself. It waits inside the bedrock, where pressure, time, and fracture tell a story older than any map. Most people search rivers, others chase veins. Professionals, however, begin somewhere deeper. They begin with a sign that never moves, never floods away, and never lies. Bedrock remembers everything. Across North America, some of the most consistent gold discoveries were not predicted by maps, claims, or historical records. They were predicted by a subtle change in stone, a texture, a break, a surface that behaves differently under pressure and water. This sign is rarely discussed outside professional geology, yet it has guided discoveries for more than a century. And once you understand it, maps become secondary. Gold does not choose its location randomly. It obeys physics, it obeys chemistry. But above all, it obeys structure. Deep underground, where rock once flowed instead of cracked, immense forces shaped the pathways that gold would later follow. These forces left scars in bedrock that still exist today, even after mountains eroded and rivers changed course. The first mistake most prospectors make is believing gold belongs to the river. Rivers only transport gold. They do not create it. The true decision of where gold ends up is made long before water ever touches it. That decision happens when bedrock breaks, shifts, and seals again under enormous stress. Certain bedrock surfaces develop what geologists quietly call receptive zones. These are areas where the rock's physical properties allow heavy minerals to settle, lodge, and remain trapped for geological timescales. Gold favors these zones because gold is heavy, soft, and easily deformed. When moving water loses energy, gold does not roll like gravel. It presses downward. It searches for resistance, and bedrock provides it. But not all bedrock is equal. Smooth, polished bedrock often signals past glacial movement or prolonged water abrasion. While it may look promising, it rarely holds gold for long. Gold needs interruption. It needs texture. It needs edges that break flow and create micro-pressure drops. The most valuable bedrock surfaces are those that appear damaged, fractured, and irregular. One of the most reliable signs is a specific pattern of cracking that runs against the natural slope of the rock. These fractures are not random. They are tension cracks formed when stress exceeded the rock's ability to flex. When hydrothermal fluids later pass through these same cracks, they carry dissolved minerals, including gold. Even when visible gold never formed a vein, microscopic particles remain behind, waiting. Over time, erosion removed the softer surrounding rock, exposing these fractures at the surface. Rivers later crossed them, unknowingly reactivating a trap created millions of years earlier. When water flows across such bedrock, gold behaves predictably. It sinks into the fractures and locks in place. This is why experienced prospectors pan above bedrock first, not below gravel depth. They are not searching randomly, they are reading structure. Another critical sign appears when bedrock displays alternating hardness within a small area. This often happens when different rock types were fused or altered by heat and pressure. Gold favors boundaries. When hard rock meets softer rock, water slows just enough for heavy particles to drop. Over thousands of years, this creates concentrated pockets invisible from above. Professionals recognize this immediately. They do not need a map to tell them where gold might be. The rock itself provides the information. In many American gold regions, especially those influenced by tectonic compression, bedrock surfaces show subtle folding rather than clean breaks. These folds act like natural riffles. During high water events, gold is forced downward into the tightest curves of the fold. Once there, it rarely escapes. Floods may move lighter material away, but gold stays behind. This is why some locations produce gold consistently year after year, even after being worked repeatedly. The source is not replenishing. The trap is simply effective. Another overlooked indicator is bedrock oxidation. When iron-rich minerals within bedrock oxidize, they create rough, granular surfaces that dramatically increase gold retention. These surfaces feel different under hand and tool. They grip instead of polish. Gold adheres to them with surprising strength. Geologists pay close attention to these textures because they reveal chemical environments favorable to gold deposition. Oxidized bedrock often indicates earlier sulfide mineralization, which is closely associated with gold-bearing systems. Maps rarely show this level of detail. A geological map may tell you the general rock type. It may outline fault zones and formations, but it cannot show you how a specific bedrock surface behaves under flowing water. It cannot reveal microfractures or texture changes. Those signs must be read in person, stone by stone. This is why some of the richest placer gold areas in the United States were discovered after decades of being overlooked. The information was always there, embedded in the bedrock itself. It simply required a different way of seeing. Gold responds to gravity, resistance, and confinement. Bedrock provides all three. When the right sign appears, it predicts gold more accurately than any historical record. And once you learn to recognize it, you stop chasing gold blindly. You start predicting it. Once you begin to read bedrock as a record rather than a surface, patterns start to emerge with surprising clarity. What once appeared like random stone suddenly behaves like a map written in texture, angle, and resistance. The Earth, it turns out, has been marking gold locations all along. It simply does not mark them in ink. The most telling bedrock signs rarely appear in isolation. They combine. A fractured surface aligns with a hardness boundary. A change in texture coincides with a subtle shift in slope. When these elements converge, gold's behavior becomes almost inevitable. Water loses energy. Pressure changes. Heavy particles respond instantly. Gold settles where physics demands it must. One of the strongest confirmations comes from how sediment behaves above bedrock. When coarse gravel abruptly transitions to compacted fines directly over a fractured or folded surface, it signals repeated sorting events. Flood after flood, lighter material is swept away while gold sinks deeper, driven into the same traps again and again. These zones are not accidents. They are persistent. Experienced geologists pay close attention to what sits directly on the rock. Clay layers, especially those rich in iron oxides, act like sealing membranes. Once gold passes through them during high-energy flow, it becomes extremely difficult to remove. Even aggressive floods fail to dislodge it. This is why some bedrock cracks yield gold long after surrounding areas are depleted. Another critical indicator lies in orientation. When fractures or grooves cut across the direction of water flow instead of running parallel to it, gold accumulation increases dramatically. Flowing water cannot maintain velocity across these interruptions. Microeddies form, pressure drops. Gold reacts instantly, pressing downward into the rock where movement nearly stops. This principle applies not only in rivers, but in ancient channels long buried under sediment. Even when water is no longer present, the bedrock retains its signal. Miners who understand this can predict gold locations beneath dry ground, guided by structure rather than guesswork. Heat-altered bedrock provides another powerful clue. In areas once affected by hydrothermal activity, the rock often appears bleached, hardened, or chemically altered. These zones indicate that mineral-rich fluids once passed through, depositing metals at depth. When erosion later exposed these surfaces, they became prime locations for secondary gold concentration. Gold's softness plays a crucial role here. Unlike quartz or magnetite, gold deforms under pressure. When trapped in bedrock irregularities, it flattens, molds, and locks itself into place. This is why bedrock gold often appears worn, compacted, and tightly embedded rather than loose and shiny. Its shape tells a story of how long it has remained undisturbed. Professionals do not chase sparkle. They chase confirmation. They look for repeated evidence that the environment favors gold retention. A single flake may be coincidence. A pattern is not. As these signs accumulate, confidence replaces hope. Each bedrock feature reinforces the next. Fracture leads to fold. Fold leads to texture. Texture leads to chemistry. And chemistry leads to gold. This is why relying solely on maps often leads to disappointment. Maps describe regions. Bedrock describes outcomes. One shows where gold might exist. The other shows where gold cannot escape. Understanding this difference transforms the way gold is approached. Prospecting becomes predictive rather than reactive. Every step is informed. Every decision grounded in physical reality rather than chance. And perhaps most importantly, this knowledge narrows focus. Instead of working endless ground, attention shifts to precise locations where the Earth itself has done most of the work already. Time becomes an ally rather than an enemy. Gold is patient. It waits where conditions demand it must remain. Bedrock, shaped by forces far beyond human scale, records those conditions faithfully. When you learn to read that record, you stop asking where gold might be. You start knowing where it has no choice but to be, because the most reliable gold signal was never written on a map. It was written in stone. In the world of gold hunting, people often assume that success lies in the most expensive equipment, the latest metal detectors, high-powered sluice boxes, or massive dredging machines. But the truth is far more fascinating, and for those who pay attention, far more rewarding. Smart prospectors know that nature itself provides the most powerful, reliable, and cost-free tools for uncovering gold. These tools existed long before human hands designed gadgets, and they continue to guide those who understand their language. What separates ordinary seekers from extraordinary finders is not always money or technology. It is the ability to see, feel, and read nature's own gold map. Welcome to EGS Pro, where today we reveal why seasoned prospectors, investors, and gold enthusiasts place their faith in the Earth's own secrets rather than leaning only on modern machines. By the end of this journey, you'll realize that gold has always left clues, and nature has always provided the instruments to find them. Those who learn to use them not only save time and resources, but also step into a tradition as old as humanity's very first encounter with the glittering metal. Think about it. Long before prospectors could afford detectors or pans, gold was still being found, treasured, and shaped into ornaments that adorned kings and queens. Ancient seekers had no manuals, no modern gear, and yet they succeeded. How? They learned to read rivers, to study stones, to understand the way soil shifted, and to recognize subtle hints left by the land. Nature was both the teacher and the tool. Those who listened grew rich, while those who ignored its voice walked past fortunes buried just beneath their feet. Gold is stubborn by nature. Unlike lighter materials, it resists being washed away by simple currents. It clings, it hides, and it settles in patterns that can be predicted if you know where to look. The river bends, the gravel bars, the sudden changes in soil color, the mosses clinging to rocks. These are not just random details. They are signals, guiding markers that, when pieced together, form a golden trail. Smart prospectors trust these signals because they cost nothing, yet yield more than the most expensive detector in careless hands. Let's begin with water, the oldest and most relentless gold hunter. Rivers carve through landscapes tirelessly, grinding rock to sand and carrying fragments of precious minerals downstream. While many see nothing but muddy water, a trained eye recognizes the natural sorting system happening below the surface. Gold, being heavy, sinks and finds refuge where the current slows. Behind large boulders, inside crevices, beneath gravel bars, or in the inner curves of bends. It is there that nuggets often rest, waiting for those who know the river's language. For millennia, water has been both the thief and the deliverer of gold. It carries it away from veins and mountains, then lays it gently down where its weight defeats the pull of the current. Imagine walking along a riverbank and seeing dark streaks of sand where the water has sorted minerals. To the casual passerby, it is nothing but dirt. But to a prospector, those streaks are nature's gold pan. Black sand, composed of heavy minerals like magnetite, is a natural signpost pointing toward gold. The closer you get to concentrated patches of this sand, the higher the chances that fine flakes of gold, or even small nuggets, are nearby. No detector required, no costly sluice box, just the ability to see what others ignore. And then there is moss. Few realize that moss-covered rocks along streams are some of nature's most efficient gold traps. As water rushes over them, tiny gold particles lodge themselves in the fibers, building up over years, even decades. Prospectors who know this trick often pull back layers of moss and reveal glittering dust hidden in its roots. Moss becomes more than just a plant. It is a natural miner, silently collecting what others walk past. But the river is not the only teacher. The earth itself offers guidance if you learn to read its signs. Consider the color of soil. Subtle changes in hue often tell stories about what lies beneath. Rusty red soils may signal the presence of iron, and where iron thrives, gold veins are often nearby. Pale clays may suggest erosion zones where gold once settled before being washed further downstream. Even the type of rock scattered across the land speaks volumes. Quartz veins, jagged and milky, are among the most famous companions of gold. Spotting quartz outcrops in the wilderness is like finding a signpost that says, "Look closer, the treasure is near." Smart prospectors do not waste their days scanning blindly with machines. They scout first, using nature's signs to narrow down the most promising spots. Machines then become tools of confirmation, not blind hope. This is why experience trumps equipment. A beginner with the best gear will struggle if they cannot interpret the whispers of the land. But a seasoned prospector, armed with nothing but eyes and instincts, can walk into the wilderness and return with pockets glittering. Gold investing begins with gold finding. Investors who truly understand this know that the most valuable knowledge is not just in markets or prices, but in recognizing how and why gold gathers in certain places. By studying nature's role as a miner, investors gain insight into long-term patterns, understanding where future deposits may emerge, and why some regions hold more promise than others. It is why, in history, entire gold rushes erupted not from machines, but from one sharp-eyed prospector who trusted natural clues. And this is where the suspense deepens, because gold is not everywhere. It is selective, rare, and hidden. For every prospector who strikes it rich, there are hundreds who return empty-handed, not because the land is barren, but because they failed to see what was right in front of them. The muddy bends, the trapped moss, the color shifts, the stubborn heaviness of black sand. These are not just background details. They are the very keys to fortune. Ignore them, and you may walk past wealth that could have changed your life forever. The smartest prospectors are not just hunters. They are listeners, observers, and interpreters. They invest time in studying the language of streams, the patterns of erosion, the secret habits of gold. They understand that patience with nature yields far more than rushing with machines. Their reward is not just gold in hand, but the confidence of knowing they can return again and again, reading the land like a map that others can't see. This knowledge, dear viewer, is power. It is the kind of power that once sparked mass migrations, that turned barren lands into booming towns, and that still drives modern explorers to the wild edges of rivers and mountains. And yet, it is also the most overlooked, because while many chase shortcuts, only a few realize that the land itself is the greatest teacher, and that its tools are free, ancient, and waiting. Wind plays its role as well, not in carrying gold, too heavy for that, but in clearing lighter debris. Over years, gusts strip away sand and dust, exposing quartz veins, iron-stained rocks, or even revealing flakes lying exposed on the surface. To an untrained eye, this is just the bare skeleton of Earth, but to the seasoned seeker, it is a whispered invitation to dig deeper. This is why smart prospectors say that nature is not just a guide, but a partner. It does half the work, breaking down rock, washing away impurities, concentrating the heavy metal. The prospector simply needs to follow the clues and finish what the Earth has started. Expensive machines may speed the process, but the truest skill lies in observation. And here lies the lesson that connects prospecting with investment. A wise investor, like a wise prospector, does not rush blindly into every trend. They look for the signs, historical flows, natural shifts, and enduring strengths. Gold itself has been humanity's timeless safe haven for thousands of years, and that is no coincidence. It is scarce, unyielding, and deeply tied to the earth. That is why smart prospectors don't just dig it out of rivers. They also invest in its future, knowing that gold's story is not fading, but strengthening with every economic storm. So, is it worth it to learn nature's gold tools? Absolutely. They are timeless, free, and astonishingly reliable. From moss to gravel bars, from quartz to soil color, from gravity to time itself. These are the instruments that have guided humanity's search for wealth for ages. Machines may come and go, but nature never lies. And as we close this journey, remember this. Fortune does not always come to the loudest, fastest, or most equipped. It comes to the observer, the patient one who knows where to look and why. Smart prospectors invest in nature's gold tools because they are the only tools that never fail, never run out of batteries, and never cost more than attention. This is the spirit we carry here at EGS Pro, where every story, every guide, and every exploration reveals the hidden bond between nature and treasure. If you found value in this journey, stay with us, because we are just scratching the surface of what nature has yet to reveal. The world beneath your feet is alive with secrets, and together, we will keep unlocking them, one golden clue at a time. Until then, stay curious, stay patient, and above all, trust the land. Because gold is never gone, it is only waiting. This is EGS Pro, and we'll see you in the next adventure.